And in the bottom right, in the red, he is sorry.
Oh, he's not sorry.
He's not really sorry. He didn't mean it. He didn't mean it when he named himself that. No apologies here.
He's a bit more thank you for being this deep in the tournament already.
I think he's a bit more thanks, but no thanks. But
sorry, but not sorry.
Yeah, sorry, but not sorry.
Sorry, not really. Well, let's just take a look at what these openings are going to be. It looks like very quick gas here from our Terran player. Protoss actually scouting rather quickly. And we'll be able to see the exact timing of that gas. So.
Yeah, the probe just going in there, getting a quick peek. We're going to see how much the gold bases play a role here. Certainly it's a map where getting the gold base is easy, but Terran and Protoss can essentially expand at about the same rate. It seems to be that case as well here in Legacy of the Void. All right away. Taking the Nexus here. Now, this is interesting because Terran has not scouted this yet, and we don't know when Terran is going to spot this. It might... I mean, if you even have the gold base up for a few minutes and you mine from it, I mean, you have such a lead as far as minerals go.
Indeed.
I think he might, if he's going to take the gold base this soon, he might just power up with a bunch of gates, try to do a shove over here at the Terran's entrance.
Definitely could be the case. And, you know, I think gateway units are very good in Protoss versus Terran right now. They're a little bit more mobile. Like, Colossus Tech, it's the only matchup I think you can still really use the Colossus in Legacy of the Void, because it did get that pretty substantial damage nerf. But, you know, I think that overall it's more about the gateway-based army with some harassment via war prisoners or oracles. So yeah, I think that that's a pretty good call there. The gold base is definitely going to be useful because of that.
So the Reaper is going to spot this one probe over here. And HerO goes ahead and makes that pylon, but the Reaper not going to take the bait, goes ahead and just starts to scout. I think anything that could make him slow down, checking for that gold base is pretty important, so I can't really blame him for that. Now, he's already transferring probes despite knowing that this Reaper is making a beeline right up here to this expansion. Let's see how many kills he can actually get with this.
Well, Adepts kill Reapers pretty quickly, but of course can't really catch them that well without their shade, so I'm not sure exactly how much he's going to do. Some good defense so far here.
And in fact, the Adept's going to go ahead and head down towards the expansion. I don't know if there's anything else up here to defend. For these probes over here, the gold base, this is going to be a big problem. We see the second Adept coming down here now, and it looks like just in the nick of time, the Reaper can actually go up onto the high ground.
You know, I really like this Reaper harassment, but how many units will be at home to deal with the Adept that was actually sent over there? Let's not forget, Adepts kill SCVs super, super fast.
Absolutely they do. Reaper now looping around here, the Adept over here at the entrance, but it looks like it's being gunned down by these Marines. Curious moment when they dropped that depot there, but I guess it didn't matter.
Yeah, he wasn't going to get out of there.
Yeah, he's not going to take that. The Reaper actually still doing some harass over here at the gold base. Yep, there it is now.
Well, it doesn't look like he's really killed that many probes. The probe count for Protoss pretty healthy at 32 with a gold base, so his economy definitely really quite booming at the moment. Now, Terran, of course, does have those mules dropping down, so strong economy there as well, and tech from both sides coming up for a bit more harassment.
Well, with the gold base not really contested here, I think this is going to put HerO into a pretty good spot. I do like, by the way, because I know a lot of people complain about the gold bases, but I do like seeing these maps where you have interesting possible gold base timings. It is a real treat to see.
Oh, certainly. Gold bases, they're very interesting until Zerg gets involved, in my opinion. You know, with Terran and Protoss playing, or you know, even mirror matches, I'm like, okay, there's some cool stuff about this, but then Zerg is there, and I'm like, oh, why? Well,
I guess he just has a lot more roaches now, doesn't he?
Like, well, damn, I guess that goes along with everything Zerg needs. Like, oh, less drones, more larvae, 4 units, which I get the money for faster. Okay, yeah, sick. But that aside, yeah, definitely in this matchup, gold bases can be pretty interesting. Now, we do have a Cyclone out here. Ooh, I love this. We've actually seen this already a little bit, and specifically out of HerO a little bit, throwing down that Stasis Ward at third bases for Terran, because you know, if they set it off, then, and a unit's in there, that actually blocks the command center from landing. So it's like a really cool move. Really, it's like laying creep at a base.
It's smart. Anything to delay him a little bit more. We do see that Protoss is actually banking up Phoenixes right now, and I kind of like this.
Yeah, I wonder what that is going to be for.
I think that
maybe
you
chasing
can,
drops?
I think so, but it's also important to note that because of this interesting combo of Adept with Oracle, Terran really can't get out of their base for a while. So Protoss can actually do all sorts of sneaky techs
Yeah.
And you know, let's say that he does a big medevac drop. The Phoenixes are going to eat that up immediately. And then a followed up counterattack with this massive number of gateways is going to be ideal.
And I gotta tell you, out of all the maps in the pool, this one might be the one that I personally have the hardest time defending drops on, because you're expanding, like for instance from Protoss here, down and left a little bit, because that's where the next gold base is. So your main, which is huge by the way, is really wide open to drop. So this seems like a pretty intelligent play here, one that Artosis might be copying.
It might in fact get the, dare I say, it gets the Artosis signature of approval. Oh, Tosis. This is so fun. We're learning new StarCraft play styles with all these new builds.
Indeed.
I'm loving it, man. Terran's going to try to take the gold base, by the way. But it's going to be tonight. Oh, wrecked.
That one might actually be out of range there for the thing to land. So, but we did see that some, you know, not yesterday, but the day before.
This is what will trigger the attack. He's basically just waiting for Terran to take the gold base. He's going to use the additional minerals he's accrued by having that earlier gold base expansion, come in here and attempt to punish. We'll see if it actually, if he actually goes in all the way with it, but it's definitely a possibility. Here we go, the attempt's coming up into the front.
And look at this, a Liberator is out, but that gets dealt with in a matter of seconds from that many Phoenixes, and Liberator's not going to be that useful right now, which is pretty cool, because Liberators are definitely one of the powerful new ways that people are playing against Protoss. And I gotta mention this. Like, I'm very excited with what I'm watching here with this Protoss play, because the fact that he's going for like lots of adepts early. He got the Resonating Glaives very early on so that he could deal with Marines, and then the Phoenixes are kind of filling in for where the Stalkers would normally be, right? The anti-air, they're doing a little bit
That's
of
a really good observation. I really like what you said there.
Yeah, he's kind of covering all his bases with this unit set. It's cool.
And right now, Protoss can play around with attacking in different positions. So we're going to have a huge warp in over here. And we'll see if Terran's actually equipped. Don't forget, there can be another attack over here at the front. So right now, and an attempt here by our Protoss player here to disjoint the Terran. We're going to have to see if he can actually hang on and defend this, because there's going to be a lot of workers killed here if he's not careful.
Yeah, and in fact, with all of these actually shading down to the natural, do get a few more SCVs here. Looks like about 9 so far have gone down. The Phoenix is still up here, and even more Adepts being warped in. Lots of lifts here on these Marines, and this is getting to be a pretty large amount of damage.
And it looks like we might even have another attack over here at the front. In fact, that's commencing right now as he's going to come in here, and not enough to actually defend. This bunker goes down. The Phoenix is in great position right now, and these SCVs at the gold base, nothing here to defend them.
Yeah, look at this. The Adepts just ripping apart all light units in their path right now. There are some Marauders in here, but this has been like a great job by HerO. I really like the type of strategy that he's using here.
Yeah, it's looking really good, and in fact, he's going to come in here right now. Terran attempting to clean up the main, but HerO still has done so much damage. It's actually 70 probes to 33 SCVs right now. I mean, this is huge. The amount of damage that's been dealt, and the gold base, there's really no way to reacquire that. I think that might, in fact, be the killing blow.
Yeah, well, I mean, HerO has 2 gold bases right now. I guess one of them is going to be mining out, but HerO is well ahead. He has already won. Let's be
I mean, there's no way to recover from this.
Yeah.
As much as this goes down to great attacks, it also does boil down to the fact that the gold base was taken so much more quickly. It didn't even have to be Adepts as the way to win this. He could have done it with any series of units, really. But definitely getting him out of position there and then coming in and punishing, that was a really good play.
Yeah, I mean, I really like what HerO's brought to the table here. I feel a little bit sorry for this Terran player, and yeah, there you go.
What you guys don't see is the look he gives me right when he says it. He's got this total shit-eating grin on his face, like, I did it again.
Look at that, Chase. I bet you see that one coming.
Very funny. Very funny.
But yeah, I mean, he never really got to do much this game. Like, the thing is, I think the Phoenixes, the fact that he pulled them up, really caught him off guard. Like, he was going into a couple Liberators, and then the Phoenixes fly in, kill the Liberators, and it's like, well, you spent a lot of money on that, didn't you? Like, I guess you just don't get to do very much here. And pretty tough game for Sari.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty bad spot, and you can see the rate at which HerO can expand here. There's not really an opportunity that Terran can actually punish with here. I will commend Sari for actually not dying yet.
Yeah,
because
I
that
mean,
attack was pretty scary. But
his supply is solid. Like, he's actually got a better army right now
and
than
take a look
HerO.
at that. You're right. His supply is actually pretty much neck and neck with Protoss, or it was about a second ago before another warp-in came.
The true problem is, with the actual economies here. Like, HerO is not actually going to attack. These are all posturing moves. He's, like, kind of putting on pressure, sending shades in and canceling them. Very common move. Really funny when the Protoss screws up and doesn't cancel them and then loses half his army. But, no, I mean, HerO's doing the right thing. He's just macroing up right now, and even though Sari's, like, still kind of looks like he's in it,
Well,
how does he actually do anything from here?
Wow, that's a lot of adepts. That is, look at that.
He's very
How
adept
is Terran
at
ever going? How is he ever going to attack around that? Look at that. He gets right in there with those adepts. Protoss continuing to push forward here. Nice force fields blocking off those Marauders. SCVs being pulled, but the Immortals just doing too much damage here.
Indeed, really great having those Immortals in there to deal with the Marauders. The Stalkers blink aside, help out GG.
GG.
HerO taking game number 1.
Yeah, nicely done. Very impressive play.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool how he approaches that matchup. It reminds me a little bit of Brood War for Protoss against Terran, where you have like these adepts. They can kind of just stay outside the base like the Dragoons would.
Yeah.
Although obviously when you get into the mid game and late game, it's a little bit different and not like that in Brood War because Terran's going for infantry with stim. But it's kind of cool. You can really do a lot of technical stuff, and it doesn't seem like there's really any way for Terran to leave his base and do a lot. I mean, even with that one Reaper, it's not even comparable to what I think an Adept can do.
When Terran isn't getting like a lot of units early on, like I mean, if you go for like something like a fast expanded into 3 racks or something, you're gonna have enough units that the Adepts can't really get in and do as much. But like in a situation like this where the Terran's trying to tech up to get into like some of his own harassment, it feels like Protoss is always threatening to kill a ton of SCVs.
Yeah.
And obviously that's a difficult thing to deal with.
I love the Phoenixes, by the way. That was great.
Cool.
That really makes me
I like how
think.
well they go with the Adepts with the attack upgrade.
Well, because of the Adept and the Oracle and the role they play early on, it doesn't really seem like Terran can leave and actually.
Yeah.
In a lot of other RTS games,
shreds light units.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of times when you have a player pinned inside their base, you're basically amassing just a bigger basic army. But it seems like there's actually so much wiggle room for the Protoss. I mean, you can tech to pretty much whatever you want. And for instance, with those Phoenixes, Terran had no idea that was even coming until it was too late.
Yeah, it was a pretty tough game again,
Yeah.
and I think part of it is the hiding of those Phoenixes, because like if you just have a ground army and you go in and he has 2 Liberators sitting there in a bunker, you're not going to break it at all.
It was almost like Protoss was Zerg back there, where you'd have this like big mutatech. You just switch into it. It was sort of like that with the Phoenixes, where
it was a little
you just
bit,
kind of blindside the player. He's just not prepared for that. Well, let's see if Sari can do better here in game number 2 against HerO. In the upper left, in the blue, our Protoss player, he is HerO. He was HerO. Now down here to the bottom left, in the red, he is Sari. We do have a new observer here, guys.
Yes, indeed. Give him time. He will
Takes some time to learn observing. It's not an easy thing. You and I have both done professional observing before, Tosis, and it is not easy.
No, it certainly is not. How else would Adebisi get his job running DreamHack if observing wasn't such a hard job?
That's a very good point. They said this guy observes so well.
Yeah.
He might as well observe all of esports. He'll have to do more than observe. He'll have to participate while he observes.
Well, we thought he was an observer, but he turned out to be an overlord. So.
Oh wow. Now, I have to ask right away because so we're in the other studio that we have up here. We're not using headsets, and I was warned by Artosis that I was actually too loud.
Yeah.
Last time we were up here, because
you're pretty loud. Your voice is pretty booming.
I have a pretty loud voice. How am I doing so far?
You're a little bit less loud now that I told you about that. So that's good.
I'm trying my best. I
you're
really
just at the
do
point,
shout.
You're just loud enough where I'm not going to tell you that you need to be quieter. But if you wanted to be a little bit quieter, I'm totally down with that.
I'm trying to balance my volume versus my hashtag no passion. Since that's how it's going to be measured ultimately.
Indeed.
So I'll try to make sure that
burden
it's not going to burst
live with.
Yes, it's not a burden that every man can carry, but it's the one that I was given.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a hero you are.
Yeah. Tasteless, wearing the cross of esports.
Indeed. Well, nothing too out of the ordinary here. A Reaper expand into a quick tech here from Sorry. Meanwhile, Adept and Mothership Core popping out right after that Nexus. And did you?
I think we. Let me see here. We might. I don't know if they can hear me right now. You go ahead and talk for a minute, Artosis.
All right. I think Tasis ruined everything. All right, GSL's done, guys. We're canceling it for this year. But yeah, I mean, this is like pretty much the quote-unquote kind of standard for Protoss right now, at least, is to get your gas, take that Nexus, and go into Adept and Mothership Core, and then...
I'm back.
Yeah,
I think we actually we didn't lose the audio there, but we lost my in-ear audio.
Fine. Now, what he's doing here, like I was saying, this is kind of like what the standard is, right? He brings the Mothership Core. He wants to put some offensive pylons down while making an Oracle so that he can bust the front of the wall, like the depots, get the reactor and stuff like that. This is a very, very powerful way to play right now. And I love that he already has a bunker
Yeah,
here.
this is super cool. And definitely the right response there to at least have that bunker ready. Because it could be a serious problem otherwise. He's already got the SCVs in position, ready to repair.
I mean, that's costing money that he's having to do that. Now let's see how this works out. Look at this. Okay, so he does throw that down and might pick off a few SCVs here and there, but it looks like this is a pretty good defense by
You can actually see just it's kind of amazing how much damage this actually deals.
Yeah.
When it all comes out at once, it's really quite difficult for Terran to actually deal with. And let's keep in mind, guys, these SCVs are not only Terran's not only losing money repairing, but he's got SCVs that are just not mining.
Yeah, but you know what? He only lost one SCV there. He killed off 3 pylons.
Very true.
The thing is that doesn't cost Protoss like a whole hell of a lot to do, and he probably lost similar amounts of minerals. And let's not forget that there's an Oracle on the way during all this.
And what's so cool about it is the double expo here by Protoss.
Yeah. Like, the thing is, as you were saying, with Adepts and Oracles out, it's really hard for Terran to leave their base early on. So even though Sorry has already defended this basically perfectly, there's still like there's still a map advantage that goes to HerO here.
Look at this. He's actually coming right up here to the front. Meanwhile, the Oracle going over here into the back. Cyclone.
Oh,
what?
Oh, my God. What a mistake by Sorry.
Man, that is... He could have actually taken that out. He could have killed that.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a really big deal that he messed that up. Like, he'll kick himself when someone tells him that happened, because if you just kill that Oracle right there, then I gotta, be
that
like,
can
okay,
seesaw the entire game.
Yeah, that might be an advantage now for Sorry at this point. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, you count on them pulling units because the Adepts are hitting the front pretty hard, and that's kind of what happened. But he had a bunker there, so it wasn't as needed,
Interesting play there. We have the gateways beginning to come up here, and a Liberator actually going to come in here from behind and try to hit the main. Meanwhile, a Reaper doing some damage, taking out some probes over here at this expansion in the upper right.
And this is kind of similar as well. Oh my God. Double Oracle.
Look at that. One-shotting everything.
Yeah,
and actually managing to escape just there. He'll probably be able to get a few more SCV kills. We see that. Probably this last one over here on the refinery.
Jeez.
He had to take cover in there. He was like, I got to finish building this refinery fast so I can get inside so I can be safe.
Now, look at this. He does follow up with some Phoenixes to take this out, but let's not forget that there was also a really nice move during all this. We were watching the Protoss side of it, but just like the Adepts came up and drew units over so that the Oracle could go in, we saw Sorry do the same thing. He sent his Reaper in to draw the Mothership Core over so that he could send his Liberator up. And, it's kind of the same type of idea. It's like, okay, we're hitting 2 locations at once with these harassment-based units. And he did some damage. It's just double Oracle killed 10 SCVs compared to just 4 probes with the Liberator.
Yeah, it seems like he's completely aware of the Liberator incoming in this like really early meta. I'm wondering how much more of the Liberator play like that we're going to be seeing as this develops.
Excuse me. Yeah.
I'm just wondering because it seems like, it really does seem like HerO has a very deep grasp on how this matchup works, but he's kind of like countering everything that Terran's doing before it even gets there.
By the way, notice I think that this is on purpose. What we're seeing is Sorry sending that Marine down south of like where the command center lands.
Yeah, to trigger
to trigger that. So I believe he like straight up knew that and accounted for that this game. So really nice.
War Prism coming in here now, and we have a ton more gateways that are actually popping up. Protoss has been on 3 bases for longer than Terran has. Terran only just now acquiring his 3rd base. Stim is about halfway done, and when Stim is done, that's really where Terran can actually start to move around on the map and engage freely. Before Stim, Protoss units are just too nimble and can punish way too easily.
Yeah, it's certainly the case. Without Stim is like one of those upgrades like Zergling speed. Like without it, the race is worthless.
Yeah, it's completely true.
It's like you just have to get it, but it's like too powerful to just give you at the beginning. But okay, he actually was getting charged and then canceled into blank. I was going to talk about that, but I guess there's no need. But he's actually going double Robo and Disruptor / Colossus tech. We'll have to see exactly what he wants to do with that. But anyways, these couple of Oracles doing a good job, kind of getting some scouting done. The same type of army does exist for HerO, like we saw last game.
And he's probably going to do basically what he did in the last game.
Yeah, will he actually let this shade complete? I don't think so. I think this is... Oh, wait, well, I guess he does, and he'll do a pretty good job against those. In the meantime, we have Oracles coming into that main base here. The Phoenix is going up to support them as well. Already 10, 11, 12 SCVs going down.
And right now, Terran, again, not able to be everywhere at once. His adept's just too fast.
Wow.